The Leica SL3-S was introduced in January of 2025, and yours truly was selected as the global launch ambassador. And since then, the most common question I get asked, whether it is from beginners, hobbyists, enthusiasts, working professionals, and even reviewers, is who is this camera for? Well, a lot of us forget is that, especially for intentional storytellers, there really are 2 or 3 things that we need for the work that we do, and then we're trying to find a solution that's best fitted for that. With this video, I want to explain the Leica SL3-S in 3 photos. This photo here is something that I didn't gravitate to at first. Ultimately, we decided not to use it for any campaign material, and by then I kind of liked it, and it's probably because of the experience that was behind it. When I think about the Leica SL3-S, I think about this idea of one more shot. You know, we've all been there, right? We're on set, we're in an environment, or maybe even outdoors. We're always trying to capture one more shot, one more shot, one more shot. When I think about the Leica SL3-S, here is a modern Leica solution that really takes that statement seriously. Because of the improvements in speed, in processing, and the ability to track objects continuously with a high degree of accuracy, you can get more of those one more shots. This image, when I reflect on it, I'm reminded about how fast this camera is, how fast it is at tracking and following subject, how fast it is at capturing shots. We're talking about something that can shoot as fast as 30 frames per second. This image, it wasn't on the shot list. It was something that was captured toward the last quarter of the day. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't having a great day. We just didn't find the rhythm until the end of the shoot. And I'm thankful that this camera really exceeded in this domain of speed. The Leica SL3-S, it takes that idea of one more shot and over delivers. So if you're wondering, when it comes to the Leica offerings, who is this camera for? This camera is meant for those that are gonna prioritize speed. The next image I want to talk about, I captured this shortly after the launch of the Leica SL3-S. I took a trip to Tokyo, and on my way back, I decided to make a little stop in India just to get a few more reps in here. As some of you know, I'm working on a long-term project across India, and I decided to just squeeze in a few days. In this time, I decided to visit a few markets, and I came across this scene. This is a scene that was happening in front of me. You have this subject here carrying a load of vegetables, and behind him, this monstrosity, even more vegetables behind him. And because of that, you have this story, and I'll let you interpret the story however you like. But when I look at this image with respect to Leica SL3-S, I am reminded by the second benefit, something that complements the first thing I talked about, and that is bandwidth. When you have a camera that's 24 megapixels, that is significantly less information than 40 megapixels, than 60 megapixels. And because of that, you open up the bandwidth at which you can capture and process your images. A lot of the images that I create, I don't get a second chance. It's a scene happening in front of me. I can't go back and have them recreated. I can't have this guy just take a few cycles back and have the car, or the truck in this instance, go back and stage this scene again. So it's important for me that the camera not only track the scene, but able to capture it and process it as quick as possible. And that's where the Leica SL3-S really over delivers. This is a camera that allows me to work in quick succession and deliver incredible results. This is a camera that excels in live environments. If you are at a wedding, if you are at a concert, if you are doing documentary or street, and you are not looking to impact the scene most of the time, this is a camera that really shines. I will take this further. If you are the kind of person that doesn't rely on heavy cropping for your storytelling, right? That you are able to create great scenes in the moment in front of you, you're gonna appreciate a camera like this even more. So when I look at the Leica SL3-S, this is a camera that sort of trades this idea of the most resolution possible for something that's gonna give you efficiency. And this is also compounded when you think about transferring your footage. I can quickly transfer the photos to my phone, pass them to the people that I'm capturing through WhatsApp, and it just makes that entire cycle way more enjoyable. I'm not there awkwardly waiting for a few large files to transfer over. So when I think about what is that second reason, that second differentiator of the Leica SL3-S, I think it really comes down to bandwidth. The next image I want to talk about is something that I really, really love. And again, it's one of these things that the more I look at it, the more I study with it, the more I appreciate, because it was captured during the filmmaking process for this camera. This is actually a screen grab. It's a screen grab from a Cinema 6K recording that we took on the Leica SL3-S. So yeah, this is a bit of a cop-out, but here's the third benefit. This is an incredible filmmaking tool. Whether you are someone that just wants to experiment and do some video portraits, or you're looking for a serious solution that can elevate your storytelling abilities, the Leica SL3-S brings so much to the table. The most valuable one that sticks out to me is Cinema 6K recording in a ProRes format with a ton of bit depth. So a 10-bit 422 file at 1500 megabits internally in a ProRes format. That is just gonna give you a bonkers file to work with, to really pull the story out of when you're color grading your footage. This 6K footage, it is beautiful. So long as you know how to expose a scene, you're gonna get incredible ingredients. And what's beautiful about this is that, correct me if my math is wrong, but you can pull a screen grab from this 6K footage and get around 20 megapixels of resolution in a photo file. Plenty enough for you to share and disseminate your work and even print. This image, anytime I look at it, I'm reminded, of course, of the moment, the story, but dig a little deeper and I come to appreciate how capable this camera is, how capable it is as a hybrid tool, something that can excel in photo and video. Now, let me bring this all home. When you're looking at the Leica SL3-S, again, it is speed, bandwidth, and video that really differentiate this solution from its predecessor and other offerings within this family of cameras. Why would you look at the Leica SL family? Who's gonna be the ideal candidate for a camera like this? If you prioritize optics, durability, and user experience, this is where, in my opinion, Leica is unmatched. This is my opinion, but when you use something like the Vario Elmrit or the APO lenses that Leica is producing, you very quickly get to appreciate how much better these optics are for creating stories. When it comes to durability, this is another place where Leica really shines. Yes, their cameras are heavier, they are bulkier, but they are designed to work in just about any environment. On some of the hottest days in India to some of the coldest winds in the Antarctic, this camera never failed on me. This is something that just continues to push through. It worked in conditions where other cameras and other solutions have failed on me before. And lastly, the user experience. This camera is just easy to use. The menus are easy to navigate. The LCD on the back, you can quickly navigate and change settings from here. The amount of buttons and dials are reduced to the essentials. There's not just a bunch of random buttons and dials, and well, there's just no excess here. Leica really shines when it comes to user experience. When you pair these differentiators with what the Leica SL3-S brings to the table, you just have this powerful storytelling tool that can work in just about any situation. You know, whether it was creating a film or creating advertisements that were going to be on the front of stores, this camera really did it all. And it's something that brings so much to justify its existence in the market. Here's the thing though, you pair this with another Leica solution and you really open up the possibilities. M11 SL3-S, you have this powerful documentary street photography solution. Q3 SL3-S, all of a sudden you have something that's great for events and weddings and incredibly dynamic. SL3 and SL3-S, here is a powerful studio offering, something that you can build a very, very lucrative career off of. Again, the Leica SL3-S, it does so much to stand on its own. But here's the thing, when paired with a second Leica, it starts to really feel larger than the sum of its parts. So there you have it. That is the Leica SL3-S explained in 3 photos. Well, 2 photos and a screenshot. And hopefully I've answered that question of why does this camera exist? Again, products exist for different markets, for different people, for different needs. And just because it doesn't suit your needs doesn't mean it doesn't solve a problem for someone else. What I love about this solution is that it is an aggressive and capable hybrid solution from Leica. It takes advantage of a lot of the things that Leica does great and takes it in a different direction that can apply to a different segment of people. Some of you may have more questions. If I haven't answered here, let me know in the comments and we can continue this conversation. Until then, as always, my name's Gajan. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.